Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, so as I ended in the other clip, sorry about the segment, by the way, because it was raining pretty bad. It's pretty decent now. Oh my god, I look kind of like our suspect Brian, don't I? Well, I don't think anybody's gonna be looking out here in the northern Peruvian Amazon jungle. But yeah, the video got abruptly cut, guys, because it was raining and my phone got wet. But yeah, it kind of got up this morning, and I've sort of been with the slow internet I have here. I've been kind of slowly catching up with the news. And yeah, guys, if he's in there, because yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation with this fella. It could be two things. Either, yeah, it's just a decoy, and he's definitely not really in there. I heard something about the family having a house somewhere up in New York, but I'm pretty sure FBI is gonna check any other properties that the family owns. So if they own other properties, unless he's hiding out by a grandparents' house or something like that. But yeah, I don't think FBI is gonna be that clueless. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna check properties of the closest of kin and things like that. But also, like everybody seems to be talking about, him not being real experienced. I mean, he's an outdoorsy kind of guy, likes to go hiking. Likes to go hiking, but let me tell you guys, living in the Amazon, well, living in a jungle or living in a forest, never mind the jungle, even living up, in the Canadian wilderness, probably a lot tougher than living in a warm tropical climate forest. So everybody's saying, oh, this guy's doesn't like. I've seen a few of the interviews, and a couple of the Florida guys that down there, they're sort of going like, hey, that guy doesn't strike me like a guy who could survive, in the swamp. But that could be another, that could be a sort of a double decoy, if you will, because, if that gets around and kind of like, the whole world's like, wow, this guy, why are they looking there? He can't survive in the forest. Then, if he does hide in a place that people are least likely to look. For example, if he's known not to know how to survive in the forest, then they're probably not likely going to look there. They're probably going to likely, develop other leads and things like that, and pursue other avenues and areas, because. That's probably what I would do. I would probably spread the word saying, hey, I'm not the type of guy, I'm kind of a sort of a, I'm kind of a guy that, likes the city and all that stuff. And, and say, hey, I spread the word that, yeah, like, I would die in the forest in 2 days, if I was lost. Then that's what I'll probably do. I'd go hide in the forest, because I know nobody would look for me there. So that's another thing. That could be, that could be a double decoy, if you will. just to further, mix the plot. But anyways, guys, the swamps, I'm sure he can survive. I mean, I've been out here for 4 years now, in the jungle, in the northern Peruvian jungle. And, I mean, you can eat anything here, I mean, there's wild fruits that fall off the trees, that you can forage, which I do all the time. There are ants, there are edible ants. There are edible, edible plants, that could definitely hold you over. But out here in the jungle, there's huts, there's villages, there's natives, there's non-natives, there's sort of like mestizo people living here, and there's people like me living here. So, I think the swamp, and especially if it's like a national forest like that, it would, he wouldn't be able to rely on sort of, people in the middle of nowhere that don't have like communication with the world, where he would, kind of be like, hey, can I, stop in for a few and get some food, get some water, kind of thing like that. So that's not a possibility, because I don't think anybody lives out there in that swamp, in that national park or whatever it is. It's a forest preserve. So yeah, like, whereas like out here in the Amazon, if you're walking for 3, 4, 5, 6 days in the forest, depends where you are, but you are very likely, don't believe all that Hollywood stuff. You are very likely to encounter some villages, because, for example, in the state of Loreto, which is where I am right now, in northern Peru, there are 1.1 or 1.3 million people living right here in the jungle. And it's a big state. I mean, it's a huge state. It's like a third of the entire country of Peru. But, if you're lost for like 5, 6, 7 days somewhere in the forest, you are bound to like walk up onto, especially if you stay close to the rivers. Because if you stay close to the rivers, most of the people that do live in the Amazon jungle, and there are millions and there are more, maybe there are like 5, 6, maybe even more, maybe like 10, 11 million people that probably live in all of the Amazon. So, you're bound to bump into somebody, especially because most of the indigenous, most of the mestizo, and then most of the foreigners like me, usually tend to live somewhere around the rivers, So yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Let's hope we catch this guy real soon. But with regards to survival, yeah, you got to watch these guys, because sometimes he could be playing with people's minds and saying, hey, if no one would, bet on me surviving a day or two in the swamp, that's where I'm going to go. That's where they're least likely to look for me. And perhaps that's why they're continuing to look there, because of course this whole sort of search and pursuit operation must be costing a pretty penny. That's not a cheap thing. I mean, the amount of people, I think this morning they have like, and today's what, the 24th of September. I think they had like 75 people out there looking, and stuff. That's not cheap. So there must be some intelligence they have to definitely that's telling them that they got to keep looking there, because these guys are professionals, and I'm pretty certain there's something they know that, of course, we don't know, that we're never gonna know, that's telling them to look there. So anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to my humble home. Hasta la ciao ciao. Bye for now. Over and out from the Amazon.